Hey everybody, how's it going? Um, it is now 11:45, and right now I feel like we should talk about anger. Now, that's something that I feel like this should be the first video because with regarding that emotion, because I still deal with a lot of anger. I've had a lot of stuff in my past that's happened to me or that I've had to deal with, and instead of trying to deal with it um, constructively, I've just kept it inside and let it build up. Well, pretty much my entire life, and I know now that regarding my situation, not only does my anger that I have now reflect that, but also a lot of the anger brings back a lot of the anger is actually coming from the stuff that I should have dealt with years ago. I don't know if there's any of you guys where you just feel like you're almost at that point where you've held so much stuff deep inside you, and you try to lock it up in a box, and all it takes is one major change in your life. Obviously, that's a negative impact on you. So pretty much where that box gets filled over to the top and everything starts spilling out. Um, Pretty much that's where I'm at. Uh, every day I have this urge to just wreak havoc on just anything that I see. Like whether it's um, breaking my dresser, punching a TV, punching a wall, just throwing stuff around. Not that I actually want to do it, but that's how I feel in the inside. That would help me calm down. Um, the fact is that there's not a word to really describe how I feel every day, and I'm pretty sure there's people that kind of understand what I'm saying. So if you think you're the only one, you're not. It's beyond. It's a feeling beyond rage, uh, beyond the word furious. Whatever word you think you could come up with, it's beyond all that. And sometimes all it takes is one little thing for just a little glimpse of that to come out, and that glimpse is enough to make people fear you, and that's not good. Um, Usually the signs, at least for me, is that I'm aggressive towards a lot of people. At times, I try to be the dominant person out of the group. Uh, you know, Obviously, getting angry really quick is another clue. Sorry, my TV's on. It's Shaun of the Dead's playing right now. But anyways, also just you look negative, and you just get people can get that vibe off you. you kind of feed everybody that negative energy. And I mean, for me, it leaks out. Like, even when I try to seem like I'm happy and that I'm fine, people can see that I'm angry all the time, you know. But I've been like this pretty much since middle school. Uh, anyways, we're enough about me. I feel like I keep rambling just about me. Anyways, if you guys have anger issues and you don't really know a way to deal with it, I mean, you guys can do just what I do. I started off by just writing letters to certain people. I just, I mean, you don't even have to show anybody those notes that you make. Just write how you're feeling at that moment, you know. And then eventually I progressed into what you guys see right now, you know, videos. It's still weird because I feel kind of stupid talking about everything. As long as, at least so far, I've been getting a lot of positive feedback about, I mean, my first couple of videos. So we'll see how this goes. But anyways, yeah, you know, write a journal. It doesn't matter if you write one sentence or, you know, one whole notebook. For some reason, you just front and back. Just write it. Just write however you feel, and don't be lazy. Don't be like, oh, well, I don't feel like doing it. Just do it. Even if that's how you feel. Excuse me. If that's how you feel, write it down. I don't feel like writing in this this notebook today, but you know, just put anything in there. Any little thing that you're going through, just write it down. Believe me, it helps. It's not gonna cure anything, but all that aggression that and anger that you have in the inside, if you write it down, it's gonna help you release all that tension. By the time you're done writing, you're gonna feel a hell of a lot better. Like, I have my notebook right here, you know. Or on the phone, I have notes on my phone too of letters to, you know, to myself, just kind of rambling, kind of like how I'm doing right now on these videos. But it's just it's a start. You got to start somewhere. Maybe eventually some of you guys can start doing stuff like this. Start vlogging how you feel, and maybe hopefully trying to help somebody else out. What else? I would say, I mean, obviously go to the gym. You know, like the way I feel better when writing it down just doesn't do it for me. I go to the gym, but some people, they feel better, or they become calm when they run. You know, some people take out all their anger and aggression just on heavy weights, you know, doing heavy sets, and the sound of those plates hitting the ground, you know, slamming them around. You know, even just playing handball, because you're not concentrating on what's bothering you. You're concentrating on your hand-eye coordination, you know, and that burst of energy to move around really fast. Me, obviously, like I said before, I always have the feeling like I need to just break something or throw stuff around. So my whole thing is that helps me feel better is is the punching bag. And I grew up around boxing, so I guess that's kind of why that's my that's my release. So I mean, maybe you could try, even if you don't know how to, throw a punch correct. I mean, you're not there for that. But maybe, I mean, if you want, you know, YouTube on how to throw a jab or a straight right, how to use all that energy that you feel built up into a haymaker or one of your power shots. Just, I mean, that's what I do. All that aggression, I try to show it with the heavy hits on the bag. Also the speed bag is one of my favorite things to do because the rhythm of it, tutum 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 tutum, making that noise and going faster and faster, it calms me down. And then at the very end of working out, I like to sit in the sauna and just reflect on everything. And for some reason, I can think about the stuff that I think about that makes me angry at home. If I think about the same stuff while I'm sitting in the sauna for like 20 minutes, I don't have the same effect. I don't walk out with that same heavy feeling in my chest, where I'm just so pissed off. I walk out of there having a better understanding on how I'm feeling, and at that point I can control, and I'm at the gym for at least 3 hours. That's my goal, is to stay there for at least 3 hours, 4 hours. It sounds like a lot, but I used to do that before any of all this anyway. I'm not saying you guys have to stay there that long. 45 minutes is fine. An hour is perfect. But it's just on you and what you want to do. Some people, drawings. I used to draw when I was in high school. Graffiti was my thing. Of course, everybody loves music. Doesn't matter what kind of music, but I think I might do a series on different playlists, on depending on my attitude, and just kind of I think I'm gonna do like a list of songs that I picked out of that kind of fit how I feel that day, and then just go through each song and I guess give a quick rundown on what they're talking about and why it makes me feel better and why I can relate to it, So maybe I'll start doing that too. Also, just I love animals, so I have my pit bull Max, which one of these days he might be in my videos bugging me. He's quite a character. We have 2 sugar gliders. They're nocturnal creatures, so they're up right now, running around. A turtle, a cat, and 2 Yorkies that I hate. But I mean, a lot of people, I'm pretty sure y'all can agree that the majority of you love animals and hate people, and that's kind of how I feel, and it's understandable, Animals have that sixth sense where they can tell when something's wrong, at least with their owners. They can tell when their owner's pissed off, or especially when somebody's depressed. Especially with dogs. Dogs I mean, cats do it too, but cats are really independent animals, so they could care less how you feel. Maybe you have a cat that's nice, has that good personality, and is willing to and will help you out. But dogs, for some reason, no matter what kind of dog you have, they're usually good about being there really when you need them. So maybe if you don't have an animal, obviously if you can't take care of it, I wouldn't suggest getting one if that's gonna put more stress on you. But maybe some people just need an animal, because people are hard to deal with enough as it is. Um, I talk to my dog, as stupid as it sounds. I talk to him like if I'm talking to a friend of mine. And that's just because I can release it and I don't have to worry about somebody giving me their 2 cents, just, you know, and saying something that might piss me off because they're not understanding fully how I feel. Um, so maybe some of y'all, if you don't have animals, you could do that. Another big thing that I wouldn't say I did it for a little bit is wrestling or jujitsu. That's a lot of it's a lot of mind and body control to the point where you can't let emotions get the best of you. I mean, boxing is the same way, but with wrestling and jiu-jitsu, I mean even MMA, but really with wrestling and jiu-jitsu and all those grappling and full contact grappling sports, you can't afford to let emotions get the best of you because everything, it's like playing chess, playing chess, and not just in a little square. It's in a square that's 10 times bigger than what you think. With that, which means it has so many moves that you can't really figure out what your opponent's gonna be trying to do to either counter your moves or to go on the offense or the defense. And when you let emotions get in the way, that's how you end up in bad positions. So maybe people could try that out. A lot of people, excuse me, doing combative sports, especially with anger, has helped out a lot of people. I mean, if you have anybody who does anything in the combative sports, ask them if they've ever been mad and or angry or furious, and they've gone, to go train, and ask them how they feel about themselves when after they leave, after they're done with their session. Um, and of course, aggression, anger can be used constructively, I feel. Um, for me, it helps me focus more and say that, well, the way I see it is I use it when I get mad, depending on the situation, I just tell myself, fuck it. And it helps me get through or finish up whatever it is I need to finish up on. Because at that point, I really don't care what happens. I'm so mad that I just want the shit to be over with. And that's it. And that's how I try to use my anger for, is pushing all that negative energy towards something productive and getting it done with nothing standing in my way of accomplishing that objective. Uh, Also, playing instruments. I mean, I got There's guitars all around here. I mean, I don't know how to play. They're all can't really use them. They're autographed, but even instruments, you know, those frequencies and vibrations, depending on if you know how to play or not, they may or may not help you. But that's another thing that you could probably look into. Even writing music, as stupid as that sounds, you know, everybody wants to be a rapper nowadays. But just I've done it, you know, and I mean, I don't make no mumble rap music or anything, but I think I'm talented enough to get my point across and essentially not really sound stupid, you know. Um, and on some of the stuff, what I do is I like to what you it's the big help when you write how you feel at that time um, in a notebook, and then you just go through and you just okay, this is how I was feeling, this and that, this is what I want to tell somebody, and you just create a, a poem, right? Or you just find a way to rhyme it, or you what you do too is you can find any kind of instrumental, whether it's, you know, for me it's R&B and old school rap and oldies. I'll find maybe a song that is telling the same kind of scenario. Excuse me. That's in my notebook that I can reflect on. It might have a good beat, it might not. Just you got to kind of put in the effort to really find what you're looking for, and yeah, and I mean, make a song. Nobody says you have to get it recorded or, you know, put it on social media and make people think that you're a rapper, but I mean, that helps me. uh I've written a song for my ex, especially, telling her how I feel, and I mean, she's never heard it. I have a instrumental to it too. It's a Key Sweat. Um, well, it's a Key Sweat sample. Um, yeah. So I mean, if you have that kind of patience or that kind of energy to focus all that negativity you have inside you, just use it to create something out of it. You know, that way, at least you got something you can really reflect on and show people, look, this is what I was going through at this time, but look what I created during that time that I was not feeling 100% like myself. You know, um, obviously, you kind of have to mix you might have to mix these things up. Oh, sorry. You might have to mix things up like I do. Like I do the gym, I write music, I write how I feel in a book. Um, I'll go out for runs. I just do whatever I can to keep my mind busy. And that's another thing too, is just finding something to take your mind off of your issues, you know. If you're a constantly angry person, chances are you're not doing anything productive with your day in the first place, you know. You're probably going through you're probably going through a cycle every day. It's the same routine over and over and over again, you know. um I've done the same thing. I still do it. I catch myself having the same routines every single day, and it's kind of hard to pull yourself out of that routine, but you got to try. Whether that's either staying an extra hour at the gym, writing a couple more pages. Um, even going to the mall, just switching it up, going somewhere that you usually don't go to unless you absolutely have to. Type of just those type of things. Just make some effort. I wish I kind of knew exactly what people wanted to hear my opinions on. I'm kind of just going off the general idea of just of people being angry. But I know it's more than just what I'm saying. Hopefully you guys can give me something to be more specific on. Like me, again, I know I'm talking about myself a lot, but I guess I'm just trying to throw everything that I know about myself out there and see if any of you guys can relate. But like me, I'm not a violent person, but I think my aggression has grown to the point where I can be. And it's to the point where nobody really wants to deal with my shit. I go 0 to 100 like in the just by you saying one word to me in the wrong, and I take it in the wrong way. And I mean, that's not good, obviously. That's not how it's not how you want to be. You want people to enjoy your company, enjoy your energy, I guess. And it's hard. None of the stuff that I'm saying is easy by any means, because I'm still I'm still learning, you know. Like the other day, I literally just left from seeing my therapist, and the guy that is the cause of a lot of my aggression, I saw him, and everything that I thought I made progress with, whether it's just talking about everything and trying to and realize that this is my reality and I gotta deal with it and be more positive. As soon as I saw him face to face, it all went out the window. And the first thing I wanted to do was make this dude feel the pain that I feel emotionally and mentally on a basis, but turn that all into pain that he'll feel physically. It got to the point where I just locked eyes with him. I got in my truck and I just kept staring at him, and he looked at me, he looked away. And I sat there and my body was telling me to get out of the truck and confront him. But in my mind, it was telling me at the same time not to, because all it takes is just that one second to change the rest of your life, And I sat there for a good 5 minutes thinking about what I should do, to the point where my body was shaking, and I turned my truck on and I drove off. But when I drove off, I started screaming, and I started beating on my steering wheel, because it pissed me off that I feel like he got the best of me, I feel like he won that battle, because it was not just him by himself. He was in front of a lot of people that we both know mutually. And I guess everybody was kind of holding their breath, trying to see what was going to happen. And I felt like because I made that decision to just drive away, it really pissed me off, because For all I know, he was just like, oh yeah, see, he ain't gonna do nothing. At least that's how I feel. But I know damn well sure that he wouldn't want to try to start anything with me, because I mean, if it got to that point, I would take it to that level. The thing is though is that I I love, especially my daughter. I love her too much to lose her over some dude, you know? It's not like how it used to be back in the days, how I was raised. So doing what I feel is right because of the way I was taught, it's not gonna get me anywhere. Not in this day and age, you know. so so yeah, I drove off and I was angry. But I called my therapist when all that happened because I wanted to let her know this is. I put a lot of trust into her, you know, which is weird because I really don't trust anybody. I don't. I think I just give her a little more trust than the majority of people um, in that small, tiny circle where I can give just enough trust to call them friends, you know, and not even my closest friends either. I'm talking about just friends, um, you know, that I've known for a few years or whatever. My closest friends that I know that have my back, they you really know when people have your back. You no matter what kind of people they are or other people tell you the type of friends that you're hanging out with, you know when they're real ones. Um, you know, I hang out with dudes that have records or whatever. They've made a lot of mistakes in their lives, but when all this happened, they're still trying to point me in the right direction, you know. And for all you guys, you know, shout out to my real homies. I love you guys. Appreciate everything. Um, Appreciate you guys' support. But they've seen me where my mind's at when I'm fully angry, and it's like, I guess it's like it's an animal rage that I get, you know, where it's just all about instinct and bloodlust. I feel where I'm just out for blood. And I think yeah, for those that feel that way, um, let me know what keeps you guys from going over the edge, you know, completely over the edge. Because for me, it's honestly, it's my daughter, it's her mother, but really, not just them two. It's losing out what I've worked so hard to build, and that's the respect that I have in around where I live, amongst the people that have known me since I was a child, and I mean all the hard work I put in to be where I'm at. You know, at least at my peak. Not right now, because right now this is nothing. I have nothing. But at least like my job and my career. You know, I'll get more into detail maybe on a later video, but I have in February I have 8 years of military service. I'm a supervisor that gets paid, you know, a good amount for what I do, and to throw it all away for respect. I mean, some people can agree with me that sometimes respect is at times worth. That's all. I mean, that's all you have. You know. Um, but sometimes you just gotta let that go. And it's always the ego too. It's the ego that gets in the way and that plays with your emotions. And that's understandable, you know. Everybody's got to make a name for themselves, or has made a name for themselves, no matter how important or how unimportant you may think you are. Everybody has the ego, you know, one way or another, because because that's just how it is nowadays. You know, you either get, oh, that's so and so who's, you know, leave him alone, he's crazy, and people feed on stuff like that. You know, they feed their own egos with stuff that gets spread around them, whether it's good or bad. It gets sculpted into who we are, you know. And yeah, I know I kind of gotten off track about the whole angry thing and how to deal with it, but it's hard for me right now to really say what steps you should take, because everybody's different. It's like when I mean it could be like anything in general. Everybody has their way of dealing with stuff, you know, and that helps them uh, become a better person. It could be just, you know, just literally sitting in a room in darkness and just thinking about everything, and then taking a deep breath and being like, all right, I thought of everything that I needed to do. I put my mind to it. I visualized everything that's bothering me, and I took a deep breath, and now I'm good. I can go on about my day. So let me know what you guys really want to hear from me. I mean, this is just a start. I mean, even just how I interact with y'all. I know I kind of repeat myself a lot. I say I know a lot. It's just I try to give you guys raw emotions and raw thoughts, you know, coming. And just like I said before, it's like if I'm really having a conversation with you face to face. Nothing scripted. I don't have any key points written down. I just know, okay, this is, if somebody was to walk in here and said I'm pissed off, that's how I want to kind of deal with it. As soon as somebody walks in and it's like, oh, I'm pissed off, or oh, I'm sad, that's how I want to deal with it. The only thing I ask is that you guys at least give me some kind of topic regarding, okay, somebody walks in and goes, oh, I'm sad, my girlfriend of 3 years broke up with me. Okay, why? And then we just go from there. So let me know what you guys want. You know, hopefully this channel does become something. Who knows? It's still in the works, people. So yeah, I will hopefully send out another video tomorrow night, or early in the morning. Like I said, everybody.